Here's a question for anyone out there looking for someone that can take this metal sign that we have, how it's laid out with the Wingit airfield establishment, airplane in the middle, and kind of a combination of that and our YouTube channel profile image, and get us a file that we can use for doing logos on a shirt, on a hat, or even like on a banner or a tent flag type of thing. So looking for someone who knows how to do a raster file, a PNG type. I don't have the software to do it. All my stuff is vector files and those just don't work. So let me know. Let's get started with the day. Good morning. It is August 9th, I believe. So a week later. Did not do any filming yesterday. It's going to be miserably hot again today. Going to be close to 100 degrees with well over 100 heat index, and the sun is already up. So going out to the garden, taking care of some pests, tying up some tomato plants, tying up some pumpkin and melon plants, doing a little bit like weeding. Then we're going to do a review of a new vehicle, take care of some bees, and that's probably going to be about it for this weekend. And before we get started, there's the boo. She heard me. She's doing her favorite, I'm going to play dead out in the sun, Dad. So she loves laying out in the sun. She does really well with regulating her own heat. When she gets warm, she goes and lays in the shade or in some wet soil. So it won't be long, and she will be right under here, this bench where the soil is wet, and she will be an absolute mess, and we'll get a bath tonight. So with that, we're gonna get going. Thanks for tuning in. Here's our small pumpkins. They're doing okay, but they're struggling. This plant over here has been treated. It was getting a squash vine borer, so that's been treated. Then we just noticed over here, see those little red eggs? And this cluster, these are squash bug nymphs. And those are the eggs. So we're going to treat this with neem oil, and that'll take care of these. So just get some neem oil. This will take care of them. Be sure to spray up underneath. Today's task is going to get these tied up. So we're going to get all these vines tied up. These small pumpkins will be okay up in here because they're not going to get very big, but you can see the size. They will be great for making pumpkin pie. Nice thing with the tunnel, so you can come in on the inside. And they're dropping. They're coated. See one riding on the back of the other. With tying up tomato plants, something we've learned from Master Gardener is the lower ones keep off. It helps keep the leaves off the ground, prevent vegetation, keep them tied loose, and you're just training them. And then these will go up. Here's some flowers. These upper ones will continue to grow up, and as they grow, each week you remove the bottom three, and this top just keeps going, and they'll continue to produce fruit. These are going to be kind of a mess to do. They've all kind of fallen over. They've gotten heavy because we were gone a couple of weeks. So we're going to get these taken care of today. I'll show you the after effect. Some of these tomato plants, because we've been away so long, their bases have just gotten so strong. We're not going to be able to pull these up. We're going to risk breaking them. We broke one stem already. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of stakes out here with twine, and we're going to let it come up this way, and then these other plants will fill in this trellis. So these other little plants, about a month ago, it looked like these tomato plants were going to die. So we went through and spaced some others. So we've got lots of them. You see this one here, we've got it pruned down. We've got a couple that we left, and once the tomatoes that are on there are done, we'll get them tied up. But this is going to start climbing like crazy now that we've got it pruned. All that energy is going to be going up into these upper flowers, and I expect this plant to go up another 2 feet. And then same with this end one here. Once we get it pruned down, we'll see what the base is like. Those tomatoes over on the other side, those are San Marzano. Those are already going up quick. So we'll be able to get most of those up there. Their stems are a little more flexible than what these are over here. But we're definitely going to have a bountiful tomato crop this year. Tomato pruning is done. It took a little bit. Since these had grown so long and we missed opportunities to thin them and shape them and get them climbing up this trellis, we had another cattle panel. This one was actually on the property. It was buried in the grass. We found it, cut it in half, arched it up, and then went ahead and started feeding through and tying out here to get them to tie up. So you can see now, you can see through that canopy, and especially down below. And what this type of pruning does is it allows lots of airflow and sunlight through here, and that is really good for disease and pest prevention. And also the way we prune it, the flowers up at the top, with pruning it, it's telling the plant, hey, I need to keep growing. It's not putting the energy into the tomatoes. It's going to continue to grow and fill up. And what's going to happen is, as the summer goes on, you're actually going to get more tomatoes than if you were just to leave it alone and get one big harvest. So the purpose of the tomatoes is for reproduction of the plant. And if you trim it down to where the plant doesn't have as many tomatoes, it's going to continue to grow. Here's the newest piece of equipment for Wingit Airfield here. 2026 Chevy Blazer. Ordered this January 2026. And we ordered to get the two-tone, different wheels, splash guards, other accessories like the rack, and some of the other options on here. And it's got a V6 engine. Do a quick little walk around, and then it is extremely dirty right now. Kansas wind does that. And I'll get it opened up, show you the inside. Stand by. Here's the tailgate area opened 100%. Here's the tailgate opening up 3/4 of the way, a little lower. Those trips to the drive-in. In the back here, we've got the shade for the cargo. A hook on there. All weather floor mats. Underneath here has some really good storage. There's some deep pockets. Good size spare. Also have the net that comes across here. You get the idea. Clips on. We get the net, storage net there. It does have the towing package, so it's got a hitch under here, and it has a couple 1,000 pounds towing capacity. It's quite impressive. So, rear seats, lots of leg room, cup holders, power adapters there, and also on the back they made it nice. You no longer have to reach all the way up into here to release the seats. They're right there, and they go down. Of course, driver's seat back a little bit. There we go. So lots of storage capacity in the back, and of course it's got the car seat hooks. But everything is protected back here with a big rubber mat. We'll get it powered up, show you the rest. Under the hood, 3.6 V6, 308 horsepower. The other ones were 4-cylinder, turbocharged 4 cylinders, but in our Passat, it's got a 4-cylinder and it does really well. But this vehicle is heavier, and in the Kansas winds, if you're out on the turnpike and you're heading south, if you're heading from Kansas City down towards Wichita, and you've got a 40-mile-an-hour headwind, engines tend to work. I personally would rather have horsepower. So this was the biggest reason we had to order, and it took 7 months to come in, was getting the 300 horsepower engine in here. All right, we're going to put the power on. Stand by, folks. Okay, in the driver's seat, brake push button, and this has the auto shut off when you're at a stoplight for a little bit, but real simple. Hit that, auto stop, turns off. Has your typical displays you can set up. Not too bad there. The ventilated seats come on automatically, and that is really nice. This past week, the temperatures here in Kansas have been 100 plus, with heat indexes up to 110. And after vehicles sitting in a parking lot for a while, it is nice to crank the air conditioning. The bezels on that, we opted for the red trim bezels. I like the ability to open and close the airflow. I do not like Chevy GM, if you're paying attention, my 3500, the vents suck. I said it. Temperature control on the outer ring control. These actually work really well. Multiple driving modes. You can go into low gear and shift. The phone charger down in here. Pretty good storage there. Glove box is push button. That's kind of nice. The steering is powered, tilt, rise, and of course most vehicles are coming now with electronic brakes, light switches, and this is for dimming your instrument lights. So anyone out there watching that may not know, when you're away from the city, if you dim your instrument lights down, you can actually, your eyes will see better out there. I've ridden with folks who leave their instrument lights full blast, and it's actually, as a passenger, it's even glaring trying to look out. You can turn those down. So I won't get on my soapbox right now, but I am not a fan of automatic headlights. And the reason being, every single day going to work, there's somebody driving across US 454 across Wichita without any exterior lights other than the daylight, other than the automatic headlights. And the reason I don't like that is because your instrument lights are on all the time, and you have your front always on headlights, but you have no tail lights or marker lights on the side. So that's a pet peeve of me. I wish they would get rid of that. I wish they would go back to manually having to turn your lights on, or some type of sensor. And what I mean by automatic, I mean they had their lights turned off. Even if you turn your switch off, your instrument lights are still going to be on, and you're still going to have like what you consider the daylight driving lights on the headlights, but the rest of your lights won't be on. So you have to come over. So I haven't automatic light control on, automatic light control off. With automatic light control off, if it were nighttime or early morning, dark out, I would not have any tail lights or side marker lights on the vehicle. And I see it every single day, multiple vehicles driving 65, 70 miles an hour without any lights on. It's a pet peeve. But we like it. It's nice, and my sunglasses actually fit. It's pretty nice. Plenty of storage. So this will be our road trip vehicle when we don't take the fifth wheel. That's it for this week. So we really appreciate you watching. Next week, not quite sure what we're going to do yet. It is actually finishing this up next week. So right now, for me, is next week. For you, yes. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you next week.